when lenders, particularly the financing partners, when they access a project, they're not looking at one thing or an aspect of the project. They are looking essentially at a system. They are looking at the structure that is in place. And those 5 pillars that I would like to share with us today are: number one, environmental compliance; number two, social license to operate; number three, risk management systems that is in place for the project; and then number four, the regulatory approvals, or let's say the legal environment about the project, and then the monitoring and reporting structure that is available. If any of those pillars is weak, the entire project becomes a high-risk project, and there would be speculations, or rather foot dragging, regarding the funding of the project. Talking about the first pillar, which is the environmental compliance, it is one of the filters, in fact, the first filters in project financing, because lenders expect that there is a valid environmental assessment, that there is a proper environmental permitting structure, either for the assessment or for other aspects of the environment that may have been flagged as necessary to obtain a permit about. And they're checking also whether there is a structured environmental management plan and air quality management plan, biodiversity management plan, different series of plans, depending on the aspects that have been assessed and the need to have those plans in place. And they are also checking under the environmental pillar whether there are clear control of emissions, whether there are clear control of waste generated, the entire waste management infrastructure for the project, and whether there are resources allocated to make sure that these aspects are taken care of. So if these are missing under the environmental pillar, or if they are incomplete, then the project is immediately flagged as a high-risk project. And once a project is classified as a high-risk project, the financing becomes difficult, or it is slowed down, or it just gets abandoned eventually. So talking about the second pillar, which is the social license to operate, technical feasibility about a project is not sufficient. The social license here, refers to communities, the host communities that will house the project, whether be it infrastructure, maybe energy infrastructure, or transportation infrastructure, or whatever nature of the project. The host communities must be consulted. There must be stakeholders engagement at different layers and different levels, both from the government to the villages where the project is going to be situated, and to the leadership across the state, the local government, or nationally, as the case may be, and even internationally. So this stakeholders engagement framework for the project must be developed and implemented as the project go along. This is what we call social license to operate. If there are gaps, or there are unresolved community issues, or there is a poor engagement being developed, or there are conflicts, or there are weaknesses in the grievance management systems, then lenders immediately see this as unstable, and that instability means risk to them, and it begins to frame how they see the project, and they begin to have questions and doubts at several aspects of the bankability of the project. So let's move to the third pillar now, which is risk management system. This is where many projects appear very strong, but they fail under the scrutiny of risk management, because lenders are not just asking, do you have documents? No. And really, this is a challenge, because most of our clients are rich flood, would just need a document that, okay, yes, we have ticked the check boxes, and usually we'll say, oh, no, ticking the checkbox is just one. Yes, it shows you have a plan. But what lenders are looking at, and what they're asking essentially is, do you have systems that actually work? Do you have systems in place that actually works from the governance framework, that is the structural, the leadership, the management of the project. Is there a system that works, that is being implemented, that everyone, every stakeholder within the organization, most especially, is conscious about policies, systems, plans? Are they aware? They want to see structured environmental management system, or ESMS as we call it. They want you to have, to develop and have a risk register that shows all of the risks that is being anticipated and how it will be mitigated and who will be responsible for the mitigation action. So this is what lenders look at. And they're also looking at incident reporting processes that you have in place and your clear procedure for managing change management procedure. I cannot stress this enough, because projects change. And if risks are not managed properly, then problems will escalate eventually. Then the fourth, I think, if I've not missed the sequencing, is regulatory readiness. Regulatory compliance is non-negotiable. A bank will not fund a project that is not properly licensed. They will not fund a project that is keeping the regulatory compliance, even if it's a nationwide project or is a PPP between government of a country and government of another country. Irrespective of the status of the project, regulatory compliance is non-negotiable, and a bank will not fund a project that is not properly licensed or that does not have approved permits when it comes to environmental regulations, or it's been skipped because, after all, this is a government project. After all, this is government-backed project and government-made regulations, so let us skip it. We see this most of the time. That will not fly for a bankable project. It will not, in fact, be called a bankable project when there are no regulatory approvals. And also, a clean compliance history is expected. Even one major regulatory gap can delay or completely stop the financing of a project. Then finally, I will talk about the monitoring and evidence. Evidence is very, very important when we're referring to project bankability. This is one of the most critical and most overlooked areas, because many projects have plans, but very few have evidence to show that this plan is in place. And in fact, we're implementing the plan, and this is the evidence to show the progress we are making regarding the implementation of the plan. So lenders want to see monitoring data. They want to see compliance records. They want to see audit reports. They want to see the performance tracking and which people within the organization, within the project a landscape, are responsible for following up with all of these compliances and actually storing or keeping the evidences for review, for ease of review whenever it is called upon. Data shows reality, and financing decisions are based on reality. So